On Tuesday, we created Kempi's overachieving 4-3-3, and there's no other team right now that are doing quite as well as Brighton. They are up into 6th place in the Premier League, and they are really challenging for that top 6, top 4 spots. And we're going to be seeing in today's 5-year Brighton rebuild if we can get consistent Champions League football using their in real life philosophies of not spending too much money, bringing through youth academy players, and absolutely dominating the world of football. What's going on there, guys? Kempi here, and welcome back to the Sorted Out SI channel, where we are today producing our very first rebuild. And I do 2 of these a week on my channel, but there's extra pizzazz today as we are over on the Sorted Out SI channel. And again, a massive thank you to the legends over there. If you can, make sure to absolutely smash the support on this one. First rebuild on the channel made by myself, and it's my own little take on rebuilds, and we'll go through everything I do in just a second. But make sure you like the video, subscribe to Sorted Out SI, and also subscribe to my personal channel. That is down in the description down below. And like I said, we created a tactic on Tuesday, a 4-3-3 tactic, which fits for overachieving sides, but also worked very well with the big boys, as you may have seen. And this is that tactic. It's a 4-3-3 system. It's a little bit out there as well. We've even got an inverted wing back, which is all of the fun. So sweeper keeper on defend in goal, pass it shorter, tackle harder. Inverted wing back on support on the right, no further instructions. 2 ball playing defenders, the one on the right, no further instructions. The one on the left, stay wider. A fullback on support on the left, cross from deep, get further forward and stay wider. A halfback on defend in the DM spot, my favourite position of all the positions on FM. I love a halfback. A box-to-box midfielder on the left side, get further forward, close down more and tackle harder. And Mazzala on attack on the right side, run wide with the ball and tackle harder. Winger on support on the right wing, close down more, cross from deep, inside forward on attack on the left, sit narrower and tackle harder. And a complete forward up top on attack, close down more and tackle harder. Now, the complete forward again is a position which has gone under the radar very much so on this year's FM, but I think is a very good one to use. Positive mentality, middle on the attacking width, passing space is not on. Overlap down the left, play out defence, slightly shorter passing, slightly higher tempo, low crosses, work the ball into the box, be more expressive, take short kicks, distribute to the centre backs. Distribute to the centre backs, like I said, counter and counter press, and our possession is high press, it's pressing much more often, it's getting stuck in, and it's preventing the short goal distribution as well. So all of the pressing, all of the 4-3-3 fun, and this is the formation which is available to download as well on the Sorted Out SI website, and again in my Discord channel. So if you are from the Kempi channel, you know exactly where to find this. In the first season we simmed with Brighton, become runners up in the FA Cup, semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, and in the Premier League managed to come in 6th place as well. Just 11 points outside the Champions League behind Brighton. Now in the sim that I did to show off the tactic, we actually managed to come 4th place with Brighton, but I thought that was a bit too easy for the rebuild, so I simmed it a couple of times until we didn't get the top 4. And this just shows you cannot plug and play a tactic sometimes. You know, the game does go against you. If the tactic doesn't work first time out, don't panic. Maybe tweak a few things to how you like to play football as well. And also, I mean, tactics don't always just plug and play into your team directly. I mean, with Brighton, it works very well. We've got McAllister, we've got Matoma, we've got Ferguson. But if your team doesn't have that amazing centre midfielder like McAllister, or that amazing left winger like Matoma, it might not work quite as well. If you need to switch the roles, you can always switch this round. If you've got a really good right winger that's an inside forward, just rotate, just switch it. Just switch it. You need to switch this bit as well. The overlap on the right from overlap on the left. Just so you don't get confused. So switch everything over if your right side is better than your left. But obviously with Brighton is very much dominated by the left-hand side. But yeah, a very good season. And one man that absolutely smashed it was Alexis McAllister. Like I said, a very good centre midfielder is needed for this system. He scored 21 goals and 11 assists in that season. And to be as realistic as possible, I think I'm going to have to let McAllister go. He's wanted by Spurs at this very point, but I can see some big clubs coming for him, and I do not want to sort of hold players back, and I feel like that's sort of something Brighton do quite well. If a player comes really good, they will let them go. The ball culture is to sign players under the age of 22 and develop players using the club's youth system, so that's what we are going to be going with. We've got £81 million to do that, £200,000 in the wage budget, and finances-wise, Brighton are run very, very well. I mean, going back to the finances, debts and loans, there's 210 million on there, which I think mainly is for the stadium. I might be wrong. And then you've got £101 million in the bank as well. So Brighton run very well, develop a lot of good players for the youth system, and also manage to find absolute talent. So that is what we're going to be looking for in this save. We're not going to be trying to break the bank. I think the way Omega looked at it is he had 20 million as his max. We're going to be sticking pretty much to that until we need to get to a point where we're going to improve. So I think first, second, third season, we'll stick to that 20 million max budget, and then fourth and fifth, when we're going for maybe the title, maybe going to secure Champions League football, that is when we'll go a little bit more big on transfers. But it's going to be as realistic as possible. So let's get right into it for the transfers for season number 2. Well, straight away, this might be the wildest season we have ever had on a rebuild sim. I quite have not really seen something like this. But before we get into that, if you can, make sure, like I said, to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. It helps me out massively. It helps these guys out, Sortitoutsi out massively as well. The content that is produced on this channel by myself and as anyone else that gets involved is always tip-top content, is for you guys. So just make sure to head down there and subscribe. It helps everyone out. And also go down to the personal channels and subscribe on there as well. Now I know what you're thinking. I said I was going to be realistic, and I think this is realistic. We've spent £104 million, but we sold £84 million. So a net spend of 20 plus, I mean, we sold another 77 million here. A lot has gone on. I need to go through it all with you because some big players has left. You can see Caicedo and Alexis McAllister have both left already, but we have replaced them. It's going to be a difficult season. I'm not going to lie to you. We have maybe messed up the save of the sim a little bit. It's my fault. I often have to save at different points, but I think I oversaved this one. So I am in 2024, but I'll go through all the transfers first for the end of season number 2. But I'll do it as it's the start of season number 2, so it doesn't get too confusing and you guys won't even notice a difference, even though I've explained the difference to you. And the cover star is the first player we're going to go through. It's Kefren Turam. This guy, he's absolutely outrageous, isn't he? He's such a good player. As a halfback, he can do the job very well in halfback defend. As a Mazzala, he can do the job very, very well as well. And also, as a box-to-box midfielder, he can also do the job very, very well. He is an unbelievable talent. He's very consistent. He loves big matches. He's very determined. His passing's great. His technique's great. His jump reach, natural fitness. His dribbling. I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen the clip in real life, and he's running down the line and he does like a Cruyff turn and past 3 players, beats them all, and then puts it in the box and they score. He's an absolute talent, and I really like this guy in real life. And I think he is going to go places. He's 6'4" as well, which makes a big difference. He's an absolute mountain in that midfield, and that is the first one I'm going to show you. The next one is Arsene Zakharyan. He's a Russian right winger who I think is very, very good. And I've sort of seen him spoke about too much on this year's FM. His value after one season is £85 million. Now, he played in the right wing role for us, a winger on support, where Jeremy Sarmiento, I think, played the first season. He's going to be a very, very good winger on support for us. Just look at some of these stats. He is a cam, he is a playmaker, but he can do this role very, very well. 13 assists and 8 goals in 52 games. Dribbling of 13, crossing of 11, burst touch 14, passing 14, technique 14. Great work, great, good pace. Moves into the channels, gets forward enough possibles, tries killer balls often, which is great for that winger role, and also plays 1-2s. Hasn't got any consistency or anything, but a very good player in Arsene Zakharyan, coming in for just £19.5 million. So far, our 2 best signings, under 20 million, and we don't spend over 20 million in this window. Another very good player, and someone that's been spoken about quite a lot recently after his performance against Chelsea. Jakub Kiwior has been signed from Arsenal. Played 30 games this season, 5 goals, 3 assists from that back line, 6.93 average rating. Very good defensively, has got the holy trinity of 14, 15, 13 in tackling, marking and heading. Decent pace about him as well. For some reason he's went on loan by a bunch of players. He's unhappy apparently. I'll have to sort that out and make him not unhappy. But he doesn't dive into tackles. He tries long range balls and likes to hit the ball to wide areas. And again, as a ball playing defender, that is absolutely superb from him. Now I'm going to have to keep sorting this. And the next one is Leonidas Steriziou. And again, doing these rebuilds, I do so many a week now, but finding new players that I don't often find is the best thing about this. And this guy is a 22-year-old Swiss international from St. Gallen in Switzerland, and he's got some very good defensive stats. He is a backup centre-back, but he does look very, very good. Just how much we pay for him? 12 million, I think? £13.5 million. A bargain in today's modern day, and that is what Brighton are looking for. And the next signing is Alex Scott. Who doesn't know who Alex Scott is? I mean, if I'm going to do a Brighton rebuild save, I've got to sign Alex Scott, haven't I? Surely you've got to sign Alex Scott. A fantastic player. 35 games this season, 6 goals, 7 assists for Alex Scott. Do we need to go too much into his stats? I mean, fantastic first touch, passing, technique, composure, determination, off the ball work, vision. I could go through every stat. The guy is outrageous, and he's so cheap on FM as well. I mean, we spent a measly £12.5 million on him, and he's fantastic. Going for a little bit quicker now, we got Kylian Sedelia as a backup right back. Good young French right back in him. Rafael Luis, a young centre midfielder signed from Benfica for just £6.5 million. Some of them stats are outrageous. A very good signing there. Ethan Laidlaw, a player I like very much as well. Again, I take a lot of inspiration from Mega Luke. His Hibernian rebuild, this guy was fantastic. So we'll see if he can develop at all. And Guilherme Santos as well, a player that's been brought in. Just £2.6 million from Sporting Lisbon. A young 19-year-old centre attack midfielder has come into the club. But I think it's time to talk about what happened with Alexis McAllister. He left the club for £56 million, and it's sort of money that Brighton can't turn down in real life as well. McAllister would have been dying for the move. So he's gone to Manchester United, where he played 30 games, 13 goals, 3 assists. A fairly good season for him. But he has left the club. Solly March has left the club, 22 million to Everton. To be honest, just not quite good enough for the rebuild we are taking place here. Dennis Undav has left the club for £6 million as well. And then I skip over to here, another 77 million gone. Moises Caicedo has gone to Bayern Munich. Again, if Bayern Munich coming for Caicedo, he wouldn't turn it down in real life, and he'd kick an absolute storm up. I mean, it's a bit of a different level to Arsenal, isn't it, Bayern Munich? So he has gone there. So straight away, we've lost our two, fantastic players. We've got Matoma left, and I'm going to try and keep him to the end. But again, this is full realism. Jacob Moda has left, a good £20 million fee for him. Veltman's left to go back to Ajax. Pascal Gross has left, 3.6 million to Sheffield United. There was just no place in the team for him. I know Brighton fans might be angry at that, but he had to go. 3 more signings. Churton Door has come in on a free contract, went straight back out on loan. Very good young loan player. If you guys don't know who he is as well, you must do. He's so well known in the FM community. Nuno Tavares, a very good wing back on this year's game. His stats have gone down a little bit, but 32 games for us, 1 goal, 6 assists from that left back role. He's just 24 years of age and was signed for just £13 million from Arsenal. Very good player. And Oscar Pereira as well, another fantastic young talent, signed from Atletico Nacional. Gone back out on loan, already worth £20 million. A 6'1" left winger, good pace, can cross the ball. Very good talent, and the squad at the end of this season is looking like this. Now, we've had obviously a full season go through as well. It's Sanchez, Lamptey, Webster, Dunk, Estupiñán. That's not going to be the best team. Let me pick the best 11. Oh, it basically is. Sanchez, Lamptey, Webster, Kivior, Estupiñán, Gilmore, who's been very, very good, by the way. He develops quite nicely on this year's FM, which I've never seen before, but he played 40 games this season. 8 goals, 11 assists. So good to see Billy Gilmore doing well. Scott and Thuram in midfield, Zacharian at right wing, Matoma at left wing, and Ferguson up front. And we need to have a chat about Ferguson, because if we're going to sort this by goals, 14 goals. Bevan Ferguson. Now, I've done sims where this man has scored 70 goals in a season. I've seen the Tom FM videos where he scored like 100 goals. Was it Tom FM? Like 100 goals a season at Real Madrid. Why is he not scoring goals for us? And I'm going to spoil it. It's a theme throughout the whole thing. Evan Ferguson does not kick on. Matoma, however, 14 goals, 7 assists this season. Very, very good. Fantastic talent in real life. 27 years of age now. He's not a young spring chicken, but what a player he is. £2.5 million. Brighton made an absolute steal there. Very consistent. Loves big matches. Great dribbling. Great acceleration. He did just damage his kneecap. So we'll see if he can return from that in full Matoma force. But like I said, this season is the weirdest season I think I've ever had on FM. We come 11th in the league, but we've got Champions League football because we won the Europa League. Now, I'm very annoyed at how the formation, to be honest, worked out this season. Obviously, a lot of players leaving. McAllister and Caicedo leaving the club is hard for the club to sort of get back into itself. But the Europa League was won against Wolfsburg as well. A very good side and a double from Kefren Thuram. We have to watch it. And watch it we shall as a 1-0 lead to Wolfsburg goes in a Lucas Nemesha header from a Manuef corner. You're going to see us here doing a little bit of build-up play. I think Kivior played in DM in this game with Thuram and Scott, Thuram and Gilmore either side of him. You can see straight away how this system does play out. You've got the 4, you've got the inverted wing back giving you a little bit more options for Kivior in the half-back role. Gilmore sitting in there, the left winger very high up. That's Tariq Lamptey. I don't know why he played there. Ferguson was there. Thuram right up on Ferguson as an option, and Zacharian just holding out wide, waiting for the ball to come in. I mean, Lamptey actually started the left wing, which is a little bit wild, but Kivior finding Tavares, exactly what we wanted to play. A good ball down to Zacharian, a goal into Thuram, and I mean, the guy is talented. A bit of a lucky goal, but he burst into the box and does score that one. And Thuram here, linking up the play. Kivior dropping into the centre-back role, finds Lamptey down the left-hand side, cuts it back to Billy Gilmore, into Kefren Thuram, another storming run into the box, and he puts it into the back of the net. And that was the Europa League for Brighton. So trophies are ticked off the list already, but 11th place in the Premier League just isn't quite good enough, and we're going to have to improve on that massively. I mean, part of the reason is Danny Welbeck was our top goal scorer. 10 goals, 3 assists, but just 10 starts, which probably shows Evan Ferguson really has not had a very good season. 4th rounded in the FA Cup by Spurs, quarter-finaled by Arsenal in the Carabao, and some work to be done. Transfers-wise, 111 million to spend. Again, we won't go mental, sort of. Debts-wise, I mean, we cleared it. So qualifying for the Champions League is helpful. Winning the Europa League is helpful. Money in the bank. Let's get going then. Season number 3. It's time to kick on. Let's get into that top 4 with Champions League football. Let me show you the transfers first of all. Hopefully I saved it correctly. Well, transfers have been made, and I've got a lot more sort of kept it a little bit quieter this season. Nuan Perez is the first signing coming in. A very good centre-back. A bit of a Licha Martinez. He's aggressive. He's Argentinian. He's only 6 foot tall. Great concentration. Great tackling, marking, heading. It's basically Martinez, but very cheap. We signed him for just £17 million from Udinese. A fantastic centre-back indeed. Has come in the door and is going to be starting at the back for us. Now, the next centre-back, the next player we signed, is Nathan. He's a young Brazilian right wing back, inverted wing back on support. He's got very good stats for it. He's pretty much decent on both feet as well. Reasonable on the left is good enough. Likes to beat the opponent. Gets forward if possible. Consistent. Enjoys big matches. Good anticipation. Good pace. Good passing. All the bits you need for your inverted wing back. And he's 6 foot as well, which I quite like. It's quite difficult to see everyone because last season's are pretty much in here as well. But Martin Satriano, who are you? Where have you come from, Martin? And why are you so good? I mean, as a complete forward on attack, this guy looks absolutely outrageous. Great finishing, good acceleration, pace, stamina, jumping reach, determination's great as well. He can link up play very nicely. And if we compare him to the legend that is Evan Ferguson, he's very, very good. Now, Evan Ferguson, fantastic player. Satriano, even better. The only thing he lacks in is 1 down on speed, but mental, aerial, technical, attacking, physical, is superb at it all. And he cost us just, £8 million from Inter Milan. An absolute bargain. And I'm hoping Big Martin can prove to be a good signing for us. Next up, we have got Marco Carnesecchi, a very good goalkeeper and one that I can see someone like Brighton going for. If Robin Sanchez ends up leaving, £8 million from the Italian leagues of Atalanta. We all know who Carnesecchi is. He's superb, very consistent, enjoys big matches, great aerial reach, command of area, communication, concentration, positioning, jump and reach, pace, stamina. I mean, it's all you need in a goalkeeper. Uses the long thrower to start counter-attacks as well is quite nice, and his passing is at 9, so he should be able to build up from the back barely good enough. Samu is the next signing, a very good player again, signed from Milan. He's at Almeria in real life. This guy looks fantastic. Again, I think he's an Omega Luke signing. That's why I signed him. I know the name from his new save. Or is it? No, it's not. It's Clates. The whole YouTube scene is in my head on this one, apparently. Samu has come in. He looks brilliant. Good pace, stamina, work rate, mark him. I think he's going to be a fantastic halfback. Now, his defensive stats are decent enough. He's 6 foot tall. He can pass the ball. He dictates the tempo as well, which I really like in a halfback. So he should be a very good signing. And I think that is everyone there. Sales-wise, there was no one else big enough to really mention. Zakiri left to go to Fulham, and that is pretty much it. Moving on into this season, we made just one more signing, and it's Abakar Sela. He's got 20 aggression. I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, I've got no idea who this guy is, but he's an aggressive centre-back from Club Bruges, Ivory Coast centre-half, very aggressive. 19 leadership as well. Very good at heading, marking, tackling, jump and reach, fitness. He's quick as well, which I love. He dives into tackles, plays short, simple passes. He's 6 foot 2. He's just 21 years of age. And 2 decent seasons there, starting every game for Club Bruges in the Belgian League. It's time to bring him in to the Premier League and see what he can do. Karbonvik has left the club, Connolly has left the club, and Charlie Penman has left the club. And tactics-wise, we are now looking like this. If we quick this by the best 11, you're looking at Sanchez, Lamptey, Perez, Kivior, Estupinan, Gilmore, Samu, Thuram, Zakarian, Mitoma, and Satriano, which means a man like Alex Scott has dropped down to the bench, so that's surprising, but we'll see how much game time he does get. We're in the Champions League this season. We're in the Super Cup this season. It's all to play for. Can we get... I would be happy with Europa League this season. With the Champions League, I'd be happy getting top 6. So that's what we're aiming for. Top 6. Go ahead and work your magic, lads. And work the magic they did. We managed to come 5th place in the Premier League. So we are in the Europa League next season, but I'm happy with that. It's a season to get ourselves back underway. Champions League knocked out in the round of 16 by Barcelona, who haven't made it to the final, but I'm happy with that. I don't mind getting out the group stage in the Champions League. I mean, what was our group? It must have been difficult. I mean, we're a fantastic... As the league phase, we come 14th, which means we also won the first knockoff playout round, which was against PSV, who are a very, very good side. And we're going to be looking at them next week on my channel with a review of Nistelrooy tactics. So what an unnecessary plug that is, but have it and love it. But Brighton coming in 5th place as well, and 6 points clear of Leicester, Chelsea, Newcastle and Villa. I mean, that's a wild end to the season. Just 2 points down from them is Palace and Leeds, and 1 point down from them is Spurs. So a wild season. FA Cup knocked down the 5th round by Norwich is frustrating. Quarterfinal of the Carabao by United, who comes 2nd, is decent enough. UEFA Super Cup, we didn't win. We did lose to Inter. A 3-2 game. Ferguson and Zachariah scoring the goals. A very even game, to be honest. A very even game. Mate, proud of this Brighton side. I've got to say that now. But the same problems are persisting. Ferguson and Martin Sorrentino only scoring 24 goals between them. And this time, Ferguson, 18 starts, 13 goals. He's done the Danny Welbeck role and done much better. I don't understand it, but Matoma has done fantastic. 17 goals and 8 assists. An XG of 15, 46 games played. Like I said, he's 27 years of age, so he's not going to be around for the longest time, but he could probably last this 5 years. We'll see. Very consistent, loves big matches. We love Carroll, Mitoma. Thuram having a very, very good season, a 7.07 average rating. He only played 3 games. Arsene Zakarian, a 7.14 average rating for him. 9 goals, 10 assists is fantastic in that winger role. Satriano actually had a 7.13. Alex Scott, 43 games. He played a lot. 3 goals, 10 assists, a 7.09 average rating. Ferguson, when he did play, was good as well. Samu, 3 goals, 4 assists. A very good season, which means Billy Gilmore did drop down to just 24 games this season. But again, played well when he did. And Robert Sanchez, 55 starts this season. In the date hub, we're just ahead on the average on goals. And we're just ahead as well on the average for goals conceded. So we are now getting to be a better team. We need to just keep improving that, moving it up, moving it up, moving it up. We've got how much money? £46 million. We'll be like, we'll spend that. I'm sure we'll spend that. Great money in the bank as well, and there's still no debt, which is beautiful to see. So we are set up now to have a very, very good transfer window. And I think now with the Europa League, can we win the Europa League again? Can we now sneak into that top 4? It's going to be difficult, but let's see if with the transfers we make, first of all, and then can we do that? And of course, I messed up the sim just a little bit again, but it's fine. It's fine. We're just 1 year in the future. The same seasons are all we're here. We just got the transfers to go through, then we're straight into the league, which is quite nice, I suppose. And the player I've signed to get us scoring goals, you can see it's worked out, again, very similar. 12 goals, 4 assists. It's Ivan Toney. Such a good player. 30 years of age, 16 finishing. Great acceleration, pace, stamina. We know what Ivan Toney does. He's a big forward who can score goals. He's great with his head. He's an unreal finisher. And I was hoping he could be the man to just bag 30 or 40 goals for us, but he just wasn't. He's a very consistent player. He likes big matches, moves into the channel, shoots with power, winds up opponents, comes deep to get the ball, likes ball played in defeat. All them things I thought would add up superbly, but just 12 goals and 4 assists isn't exactly what I was looking for. Neri Demiral has come in as well, a very good centre-back. Didn't really play too much this season, but very good player, and he was rather cheap as well, but there's a reason he didn't play too much. Lay has come in as well, a young left winger, very good talent, 19 years of age, 5'9". I feel like, again, very Brighton side, and £12 million if he hadn't already gone to like Man City. And I mean, the most Brighton signing of them all, Rooney Bargi, what a player. This season, 50 games, 11 goals, 18 assists, which means he replaced Arsene Zakarian. But as a winger on support, this guy is outrageous. Fantastic technique, acceleration, pace, stamina, burst touch, dribbling, crossing. History-wise, he's done very well at Copenhagen. I mean, last season, a 7.81. I mean, that is absolutely outrageous. But this season, a 7.23 in the Premier League. what a signing and what a player. And he's probably going to go somewhere before going to, he's probably going to go somewhere bigger than Brighton, and the greatest respect to them. But if he doesn't, and someone needs to take a risk on him, I can see that being Brighton. And just £7.5 million, what a signing. And the next one, spent 25 million on him, Luca Nets, a very good left back, very attacking, very, very good, very quick as well. 36 games a season, 2 goals, 8 assists, doing well on the old average ratings. Arsene Zakarian ended up leaving at the end of this season, at the end of last season. Oh my God. See, this save was done ages ago and I'm so confused, but Zakarian has left the club. That is why he brought in Rooney Bargi. Of course it is. Winger on support. He was very, very good for us, but he's gone over to Villarreal and done okay, but certainly better over here. But he left us for £40 million. Satriano did end up leaving as well. He was unhappy with his game time. Went to buy Leverkusen, £11 million. Nuno Tavares left again. We replaced him with Luca Nets, £10 million. And then we signed Dario Usagio as well, 35 million, so a little bit more than I would have liked to have spent. But as a halfback, he is outrageously good. He's 6 foot, he's 21 years of age. In real life, he's just, I believe, 18 years of age, and he's now 21, 49 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, but a 7.05 average rating, and some of them stats are outrageous. His anticipation, I like very, very much. Likes to switch the ball to the right areas. He's strong, he can pass, his technique's great. The great defensive stats that he's got as well, his teamwork, positioning, it's all there for Usagio. But how did it do us in the old leagues and stuff? Well, for some reason we didn't go into the Europa League. I think maybe with the league phase and with the coefficients we got moved up in for 5th place, got moved into a Champions League possibly. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we are in the Champions League, knocked out in the quarterfinals by Real Madrid, a very, very strong side of course, but that's not even the best thing that happened. 3rd place in the Premier League. We were 4 points clear of 5th place Arsenal, so a very good season. And again, scoring goals seems to be a little bit of an issue. We are just getting a bit better in our defensive work. Goal scoring very much the same, so still looking for that killer instinct striker. But Rooney Bargi added so much this season. Matoma and Tony both on 12 goals apiece. Bargi doing very well. Ferguson 9 goals, 3 assists, hasn't again really kicked on for it. I believe I don't end up selling Ferguson. I think I loan him out so you guys can try and revive his career, because this save file will be in my personal Discord channel. You have to come over to that, download this, and you can pick up the save from the end of Season 5. But Perez doing very well as well. Rafael Luis, we signed a few years ago, has now come into the team, and again, very well this season. 30 games, 5 goals in there. Best performer was Bargi. Kefren Taram, 7.23. Absolutely dominating the scene again. A very, very good season from him. But next year, we're back in the Champions League again. So if we can do it next year, that's back-to-back leagues in the Champions League. And we're absolutely smashing it. So let's go ahead. I'll show you the transfers this time. I hopefully actually will before I bug the save again. But £90 million to spend. Lots in the wage budget. The money is beautiful. Brighton are on the up. Jakub Kiwior and Kasper Kozlowski have both left the club for a combined 50 million, which makes up for the signings we have made. Santiago Jimenez, a very good Mexican striker who I really like in real life. He's doing absolute work at Bayern in real life. I mean, in this save, he scored lots and lots of goals, and last season 26 goals in 29 games, which just moved him over to the Premier League with 16 finishing. Great off the ball work, great passing. Can he be the man to finally propel us to goal scoring? I bloody hope so, because it's frustrating me that no one else is. John Stones has come in as well, and by the way, John Stones, and the reason I signed him is this inverted wingback on support role. He looks outrageous there. He's playing a very odd position for Pep at the moment, where he's almost moving in to a DM centre mid role. And I thought, as an inverted wingback on support, why not chuck John Stones in? And he looks fantastic there. And as a centre-back as well, he's also still very, very good. So John Stones, £13 million from Manchester City, 32 years of age, has come in. An unbelievable goalkeeper has joined the club, Dennis Seamen. You must know who this guy is. He's 16 when the guy starts, and he is outrageously good. The last 2 seasons, he's been Stuttgart's main goalkeeper, and he's now come to the Premier League, and is even better than Marco Carnesecchi, who I feel like is leaving the club or has left the club. If I click this, is he leaving? I think I'm trying to get rid of him because he's not good enough, basically. Am I right in thinking that? No, he might be the backup, and I'm rejecting him. Carnesecchi's a backup. I mean, what sort of world are we living in? And then the last signing is Beraldo, a very good Brazilian centre-back. He's been signed from Napoli, where he did end up starting at Sao Paulo FC, again, very good, great defensively, great passing the ball, good ball player out there. So very, very good to see him come into the club. And again, a new player I've never really seen before. That is the all 4 signings we did make. No more signings coming in, transfers out, is all done. And the team is looking very, very strong. Seaman in goal, Stones, Perez, Beraldo, Nets at the back 5 with Asugio just in front, Samu and Scott in front of them, Matoma, Bargi and Jimenez up top. It's a very strong time. It's a new look Brighton, but Buonanotte is now on the bench. Taram is on the bench. I mean, he's probably going to play more than Samu is. I don't know why it's chosen him. Kempi is a player that's come through the youth academy here at Brighton. We loaned him out to AC Ajaccio in France, and he looks brilliant. Great finishing, first touch, flair, technique. I mean, you guys have got some great young players to look forward to bringing in as well. I mean, Charandora is still here, Pereira is still here, Sterigio is still here, Saramento is still here. You can see they're transfer listed, and we're trying to get rid of them, but they didn't want to go, basically. And in the under 18s, again, another few good young players, but Kempi is the one that has really developed into a good role in this club. I mean, the backups, you're looking at Karnaseki, Lamptey, Silla, Demirao, Estupinan, Rafael Luis, Kempi, Samu, Buonanotte, Lay, and Evan Ferguson. So a very, very strong team. Season 5, can we get back in the top 4 again? And can we do even better in the Champions League? And for the end of season number 5, it's the same old story. Not enough goals coming in the league. Santiago Jimenez just getting 12 goals. I mean, if you guys do want to absolutely dominate the scene, maybe just change that from complete forward. It's not bringing out the best of results. Have a little bit of fun with the tactic, have a little bit of fun with the save bar. Ran a 16 in the Champions League by PSG. I feel like we got done over on the draws very much. I mean, Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG. We done very well to get where we did. Cup rise, disappointing to get knocked out by Arsenal and by Hull in the end in the Carabao, but a very good season. Again, we managed to keep Brighton in Europe every single season, even with coming 11th. We managed to win the Europa League, so very good seasons here from Brighton. End of season 5, I think, is a very good, realistic rebuild. I think we've done very well with them. We are clear now of that 8th place still, even though we have not dominated the striker position, just 4 points out of getting back into the Champions League again. So it's ready for you guys to come and pick up. I mean, the team is very, very strong. Looking at the goals, Santiago Jimenez did have an awful season. Matoma, maybe it's now time to replace him at 30 years of age, but that is all for you guys to do. The save file is going to be down in the description and below. Make sure to come over to the Discord and download that. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to Sortitoutsi, subscribe to Kempi XI, and we'll both speak to you next time.